My name is Eddie Okoji. This right here is my 92 boosted Corrado VR6. So the current build that I have going on right now, it's a 92 VR6. It has a GT35X turbo. It has 1000cc injectors. It has 268 strict cams. It's powered by Mega Squirt standalone. It also has LSD diff in it. I don't recall which one it is. It does have a custom 3-inch exhaust, and it does have a big brake kit from Willwood. As far as cosmetics, it has, BBS wheels. The specs on the wheels are 8 up front, 9.5 in the back. Pretty much I spin all the gears, but it's my personal enjoyment. It also has a custom spoon-fed rain tray, and also has a custom spoon-fed wiper cowl. It also has a custom power steering reservoir fluid. It has a custom oil catch can. It has custom hard lines ran for the cooling. That's pretty much it. Also has some Phoenix Engineering bushings for the shifter upgrade to take the sloppiness out of it. And it also has spoon-fed in the Corrados. It has, for the speedometer, it has 2 little, I guess, clips you would call that typically go missing. I mean, it's not custom, but they're hard to find. But now, thanks to Phoenix Engineering, they made it possible to have that. It also has 2 12-inch spall fans that keep the car cool. And the best part about the car, it still has AC. A little over 500. Spins all through first and second, doesn't catch till third, but if I'm pretty sure I'll put a stickier tire on it, it'll definitely hook. So pretty much how I came about the car, it was, I've been eyeing this car for several years, ever since I was a child. I was born in '87, I had to date myself, but I've seen this car almost 27 years, I would say, growing up on this particular road that this gentleman lived on. And I've seen this car so many times going up and down this frequently road that I travel, to and from my commute to work. And one day I knocked on his door to ask if the car was for sale because it had been sitting for some time at some point. At that point, the gentleman told me no, it wasn't for sale. Unfortunately, he's going to hang on to it. It has sentimental value to it. So, funny story, my neighbor, I was talking to my neighbor one night and I was telling him I'm looking for a Corrado. And ironically, he said, I know a guy with a Corrado. I don't know if he sell it to you. So my neighbor gives the guy a phone call, come to find out he was dating his daughter, and that's how I came about the car. Pretty much, it was like an interview process. I met with the guy, we talked for approximately 2 hours, what I was gonna do with the car if I took it off his hands, and then 2 weeks later, I picked it up. I picked the car up January of 2015, and I've been with the car ever since. One of the roadblocks that I faced was picking the car up. The hardest part, believe it or not, for me to have found at this particular point, mine just 3 years ago, was an ABS bracket delete, because my ABS is bypassed. And that took, I would say countless months to find that. Other than that, there's probably been a lot of trial and tribulations, countless coolant issues that I've dealt with the car that we finally got situated with the spall fans. But other than that, the overheating was one of the biggest issues, as well as the ABS bypass. But now that's all figured out. The car drives perfectly fine. I live 3 hours away from Ocean City, Maryland. This car really right here has been put through the paces this entire weekend. Yeah, but other than that, the cooling issue was the most difficult thing to figure out, because I definitely wanted to keep my AC. And the guys I said at Redline Motorworks, they we came up together with something and they figured it out. My thoughts on the whole H2O, Ocean City, Atlantic City. I've been coming to I've been coming to Ocean City for the past several years, and this year, same show, a lot of burnouts, a lot of anti-lag, a lot of two-stepping. I wouldn't trade it for the world to come here. I really didn't hear too much about Atlantic City. From what I saw, a lot of people were leaving Atlantic City to come here. So Ocean City is where it's at for me. So I did not get pulled over any, but last night this golfer and I were coming up Coastal Highway. I believe we started like at I want to say like 72nd Street. We were going back and forth playing, and I stretched him pretty good, like to the point where my heart was beating, because if you guys don't know, the speed limit down here is 30 miles an hour, and if you go anything over that, you are looking, I believe, at a $600 ticket, and we were well above, like, you can believe it or not, but yes, we were going up that high last night on Coastal Highway, in and out of traffic. And for those who have been here, you do know the higher streets is less traffic, so you can do that if possible. So in the process of building the car, I was teetering back and forth between a Precision or a Garrett. And when I reached out to Brian at Redline Motorworks, he was like, you can go with Precision or go with Garrett. I prefer Garrett, but at the time, for the budget, I was gonna go with Precision. And I remember I went to the shop, and Brian said, let's just hold off on the turbo, let's just get everything worked up. So I said, okay. So come Christmas, and well, my birthday and Christmas are kind of close to each other. So I remember coming downstairs Christmas morning, I really didn't get any gifts from my wife. I was like, okay, I guess it's all about our daughter. Come to find out, she actually had purchased the turbo for my birthday and Christmas gift, and the shop was cahoots the whole time about it. And every time I would check on the car in regards to the fab work, they had the car on the lift. So one day I actually walked in there without telling them I was coming, and I actually saw the turbo that's in the car now. So I mean, it really touched my heart to know that she supports the build. Many of you guys out there know that we spend a lot of time and money in these cars, and women behind us really hold it down for us, to be honest with you. So to piggyback on what I was saying about how Redline Motorworks really took care of the car. Brian, the guys over there, he sent me a text once he diagnosed the whole issue with the car, and I just pretty much said to him, he actually called me before we exchanged phone numbers, and he said, hey Ed, we gotta pull the whole motor apart. I was like, man, again, this is my third time going through this. He said, I guarantee you and I promise you, before the car leaves, I guarantee it'll be running how it should have been the first 2 shops ago. So I put my trust in him. Ever since then, it became a true friendship, we're family at this point, to the point where right before me coming down here, my air to fuel ratio gauge took a shit on me. The sensor went up, and literally Brian called another shop, found the sensor. We tried to find a replacement sensor, couldn't find the sensor. He ended up buying just a whole gauge just to get me here. Stuff like that. I mean, it's you don't find stuff like that, to the point where he couldn't even leave his shop because they were busy busy preparing other cars for H2O and their daily maintenance for their other customers. That he actually gave me his card for me to go purchase the gauge. I don't know how many business owners would do that. Some guy, but like I said, we're not just some guys. We're really a family. I could text Brian right now and say, hey, my car's overheating. He says, hey, I'll find a tow truck for you, we'll figure it out, just meet me at the shop. So it's things like that that really make you appreciate genuine shops. So he's really part of the family, to be honest with you. Just to elaborate more on the fabrication work over there, there's Redline Motorworks, that guy Ken. If you look at it, look from the valve cover into the catch can, into the hard lines, into the power reservoir. I mean, this right here is a truly custom done catch can that I had never seen before. And I mean, when I pop the hood every time, it really catches the crowd's attention. Not only that, the powder coating done and RCH coating. I mean, I know it's wrinkled black, but it just complements the engine base so well with the custom spoon-fed rain tray as well as the wiper cowls. But I mean, it's amazing. I mean, every time I look at it, it gives me goosebumps. So I'm truly thankful and blessed to have such an amazing vehicle like this. I mean, it's a Corrado. I mean, like, it's really hard to find certain parts. I mean, there's nothing really rare on the car. I mean, I got black leather. I have a B3 Passat sunroof that was swapped over. I mean, it's really nothing really like too rare to find. Besides, it is original paint. It's a 92 with original paint. Custom with the front mount peaking underneath the bumper. That was my decision. I know a lot of people prefer it to be tucked behind the bumper, but I wanted to show a little bit, you know, have that aggressive look from the front. The furthest I've taken the car, I would say probably is Ocean City, Maryland. But I'm confident the car can drive from here to California, to be honest with you. And I eventually do want to go to some shows out there. This car is driven, it's not trailered. You know, this car really puts a smile on my face every time I get into it. And believe it or not, let me knock on wood, but I have not gotten pulled over the 4 years older in the car. I've gotten some close calls, but I haven't gotten pulled over. So, this is my fourth time going to Ocean City, I haven't gotten pulled over. When I actually picked the car up from Redline after it was completed, you know, I was driving the car and I was getting into it, and a cop pulled up next to me, and I was like, wow, my first ticket, just picking the car up. And the cop says, man, bringing back memories, young man. And I said, I'm just trying to make some, sir. And you know, he said, slow it down for me and keep it on the road. And he let me go.